It's backstage at the University of Minnesota in Minneapolis, and Bill Evans is blazing his way out of Chicago at Rick's Cafe American by way of Northrop Auditorium. Very pleasant to see you again.
Thank you. This was a special kind of concert for me because Frank Bencriscutto, who conducted the stage band tonight, is of course, well known to Minneapolis people. We're old Army buddies, and we were very close and have remained. It was a kind of friendship that never ceases, even though we don't see each other too frequently. And so it was a special concert for me to be here as a result of Frank bringing us here and having that reunion. But it worked out, I think, very well. We had a large audience, and despite the size of the hall, the sound was excellent, the piano was excellent, and we felt good, and the audience responded nicely, and I think it was just a nice evening.
Well, you're, of course, in a hallowed hall, the home of the old Minneapolis Symphony Orchestra, recorded with one microphone by Mercury Records way back.
Indeed. Anatole Dorati, right?
Dmitri Mitropoulos.
Oh, and Dmitri Mitropoulos, of course. Well, you certainly had some outstanding conductors here. Yeah, I remember I had a few of those recordings myself.
Bill, this experience tonight, and of course you've been capturing young musicians. In fact, you have Mark Johnson out of Denton in North Texas in your group right now. But how about the caliber of musicians you were working with tonight, speaking to Minnesota and Dr. Ben?
Well, the whole stage band thing in this country has gotten very big, and it's producing a whole raft of marvelous players, especially section players, and soloists as well. And the marvelous thing about most of them is the spirit and the dedication and that kind of enthusiasm that you can't get hardly even from a professional. But this band just sounded marvelous. They played a variety of music and just felt relaxed and professional, and they have good soloists, and it's just an exciting thing. And it's I was sitting in the wings thinking what a wonderful thing it is that this stage band thing is such a phenomenon in the colleges, because it is preserving a lot of good big band music and is creating so many good musicians and developing their tastes in a little deeper way than the completely pop rock groove. So yeah, it was really fun.
On a personal note, your career to this point, well, how does it feel, and how does the music business feel as far as acceptance of your repertoire, your program, your performance? Do you sense a new audience building and a renaissance, in a sense? Jazz has been living a kind of a subhuman life under the age of rock, hasn't it?
Yeah, especially so in the 60s and early 70s. Yeah, it's definitely a great period for jazz. It's just a very good period now. There is a large young audience that is discovering jazz more and more every day and becoming deeply interested. And it's going to be even better. I think it's just going to be a great, maybe in the next 10 years will be a wonderful, wonderful period for jazz. We notice it everywhere we go. Our drawing power is much greater. The interest and enthusiasm is great, and especially the audience is 80% young people who 10 years ago wouldn't have known what jazz was. And I don't know exactly what the reason is, but I'm very happy about it, and it is a fact.
Something strange is happening to the value system as far as the ears out there are concerned, isn't it?
I guess so, and I hope so. Of course, you're never going to get the masses in anything that's really challenging or on a more higher artistic level, because it just isn't a need in the lives of the mass people. But there are a large amount of people who are sensitive and do desire to penetrate into various forms of art, and will look for something better, and hopefully they definitely are coming into jazz now, and hopefully even more so.
Well, there's a great hope that with the increase of the visual art galleries and the general movement in the arts, that jazz really has its place.
Yeah, I don't think we can deny that, but the commercial interests are so powerful, and it's the easy road to take, and that seems to be, the way it goes, and it's a fact of life that we have to learn to accept early on if we're, going to remain sane, and so I certainly do accept it. In fact, I'm extremely happy and gratified that I have the position I have and can make a good living and play what I want and record what I want and have the ego return of acceptance and an audience and so on. So I'm one of the lucky ones. However, there are so many good players and good jazz musicians that don't have the position that I have, that have to go out and play music far below their abilities in order to make a buck, or what. And it's too bad that the public at large doesn't want people to do their best, and that's really the tragedy of it. The people that make it, it's nice, but there are, for every one of those, there's 100 out there that are really accomplished, good players, and are struggling to get a commercial job, and they should be. The club should be filled with, good jazz musicians and audiences that are tuned into encouraging them and giving them the gratification that they've worked for and deserve.
Bill, one more question here. For you, are there new frontiers that you're looking at, trails you want to blaze, paths you want to travel, horizons you want to, get over?
Yeah, musically not so much. I don't think in terms of pushing the barriers of music forward in a great sense. I tend to want to get deeper into what I'm doing, and my progress has always been more through the middle than moving out toward the extremities. And that's where I really aim for, a greater expressive level, and to develop my kind of idiom and my kind of thinking farther along the expressive line.
In other words, as with a visual painter, deeper and richer visual effect or audio.
I guess whatever. There's a certain language that I use, and and I myself know the progress I make within it. And for me, it's fundamental, and for me, it's what's right for me. And I just hope to continue to develop that.
Bill Evans, thank you very much. A pleasure sitting with you here at the University of Minnesota in Northrop Auditorium on the campus at Minneapolis, just over the Mississippi River.
Yeah, thank you, Leigh.